doing other stuff. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about the show. Have you guys got that leaflet about the show? Oh, cool. Let me sort it. So yeah, it's been a fun process. We've been shooting quite a bit for it. And it's ready. And I think they had a 4 or 5 hour airing on Republic Day. And now it starts tomorrow at 8:30. Anything anyone would like to know at all about anything?
So I think before they get it, let's tell them about the brief concept of the show.
Okay.
So that they know more about the show.
Sure.
The 5 contestants that we have, how they're going to, fight against each other. You're going to give them tasks.
Sure. Okay. All right. So yeah, so basically the format of the show is pretty simple. It involves me sending these 5 comedians into various different awkward and absurd places, giving them I think 2 or 3 challenges per episode, which involve them accepting it, and if they can get away with that challenge, then they get points, and every episode gives them points which add up, and finally you'll have a winner. So we've chosen various different tasks during the course of the show, and we've got 5 pretty interesting comedians on it. And what happens during the course of these tasks is that they all have an in-ear. So I tell them what to do, how to do it, what to say during the course of every single task. And that's pretty much it's a very, very simple format. It's not too shocking or over the top or trying to be sensational in any sort of way. It's easy viewing, and quite frankly, a lot of the times the things that we were expecting have turned out quite the opposite. And it's been fun working with these 5 guys, and they have to do everything I tell them to do, which is quite a rarity given today's day and age of no one really listening to anyone. So that's pretty much the format. That's all. I pretty much. You want to add anything to it?
So it's not the run-of-the-mill comedy show where you get to it's a hardcore, simple comedy, for everybody in the family, something fun to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and not so much of a shock situation. And also the dares and the comedy is on the comedian. A lot of the shows are based on comedy being primarily on the average person on the road or whoever they meet. It's not about them anymore. It's mostly about how much can you actually get away with in a situation. How far can you push it, and how far can you go without getting caught. So that's pretty much the thing.
So it's more about social kind of experiment with the kind of people they go and meet on the ground. How they react to certain situations. Suddenly you ask them to steal something from their basket or from their order, what they've done.
Yeah.
How different people react differently in different situations, and sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not very funny.
Yeah, so people's reactions cannot be sort of even taken into account for, and they behave so strangely that you never really know how that's going to pan out, which has been a big learning on the show actually. We sent them out into a few situations, and the reactions were always absurd.
Yeah. And we started with Chennai because I think Cyrus has a long connection with Chennai. He spent a lot of time, so we thought the first visit that we do as a city, we thought of Chennai.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I haven't been
Also the comedy, and considering it's Comedy Central, if you see the way the comedy is consumed in a different part of the India, South India, preferably Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Calcutta, to extent Delhi and Mumbai, are the primary market for when it comes to comedy. I think they understand comedy and they consume comedy more than some of the other markets.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you have to ask Cyrus about?
Anything you would like to know about the show, or any question?
Yeah.
What's a good coffee to get? Any other? Yeah, okay.
So did you write your own routine? I mean, everything, the script, everything is done by you?
Yeah, so what happens is that basically, just break it down, 99% of the time I didn't know what's going to happen, so yes, I did have to make it all up.
Okay.
So what they do is they choose a dare. So for example, if one of the dares is that and they were very simple dares which become very tricky to sort of go on with. one of the days was that you just walk up to someone in a coffee shop like this, and while conversing with them, take 3 sips of their coffee without mentioning it. Something as simple as that can go superbly wrong, and yeah, I work pretty much on extempo stuff, and you can't really know how they're going to react, so you can't really have a script with you. So always to go in with an outline of where they have to get, and then we pretty much made it all up.
So do we see you on the camera as well, or it is just about?
No, I'm there throughout, on and off. Yeah, I haven't done anything on Comedy Central, but on TV I've been on for, he said I have been on after a few years or something. That's not completely true. Last year I finished 120 episodes of a show on Sub TV called Sab Khelo Sab Jeeto, and finished something for Hotstar and stuff like that. But on Comedy Central, yeah, it's been a really long time. I think the last thing we did was Spread the Cheer, which was, I think, 2 years ago?
Last year.
Last year. It was last year, which was a really nice campaign. And yeah, this show is trippy viewing, man. It's great fun. What's turned out to be absurd is that sometimes when you think people will react a certain way, they just haven't. We had a situation in a mall where we asked one of the guys to go and just keep arranging other people's chairs and telling people to move from one place to another because the mall had to be color coordinated. So all people in white shirts had to sit with other people in white shirts. And surprisingly, some people just moved without any problems, which is absurd. So there was a couple having a conversation and he went up to the guy and said, "So you're in a white shirt, she's in pink, you need to move somewhere else." And he said, "Oh, I didn't know, okay." And he just went and sat alone. There was a lady who told him to go to hell, this guy, and then there was an old man who went up to him and said, "Beta, don't worry, today you're feeling sad, but tomorrow the world will listen to you," and gave him a motivational speech about that. There was one really funny one which I find fantastic, is that the comedians were given a brace and they said they hurt their arm and they lost their phone, so they had to go up to people in malls and just ask them to type a message. We have one of the comedians is Cyril, who somehow just got refused by every single old person. Considering that all old people are supposed to be nice and gentle, they refused him, told him to go to hell. One guy got some kids to type a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to steal the phone from the kids," and they're typing it but not reacting, which I found incredible. I think they reacted later. So yeah, the reactions have been fantastic fun, and it is irreverent and it's easy viewing, and in a day and age where everything is sort of boom boom, someone doing this, even the genre, a lot of the tasks have become take off your clothes or slap someone or kick someone. It's none of that. It's simple stuff which is tougher to get away with actually. So that's pretty much the show.
So what role did you enjoy the most? Writing the script, being there, having the comedians getting kicked?
I think what I enjoyed, the two things I enjoyed the most is one, actually having someone to completely listen to me. It's a miracle, nobody gets that in real life, where you say something and someone actually follows what you say. And this is the first time in the show that it's actually happening to me in my life. And the second thing was, it was honestly, so I was always hidden away in some secret corner, either under the sink or in a corner, hidden away from the kitchen. And it was, so I had hours and hours of just looking at people react, and it was quite revealing to see how normal and how sometimes you just don't react. Like in a film, how you see people reacting, they react so strongly towards everything, and in real life people are just straight out, they don't do anything. It's almost like they're just sitting. So it was a good experience for me to just visualize that.
Basically it is going to be Hindi, English kind of.
So it'll be mostly English.
Mostly English.
Yeah. I think Comedy Central primarily is an English network, so the whole show is primarily in English because of that reason.
So it would be easy to connect with this South Indian kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it will be, and as you mentioned earlier, I mean, a fair bit of people end up watching a lot of English content from this area, and that's also one of the reasons why we are here. The comedians are really interesting also, and they come from different forms of comedy. We have Naveen Richards, who's from Bangalore, who makes a lot of videos, does a lot of stand-up and writes stuff. There's Utsav, who's a stand-up comedian. Cyril is very well known actually for making Vine videos and short videos with Jose. There's Deep, who is a big writer, even Dhruv, who's a writer for a lot of comedy shows and is a stand-up. It was a nice mix of stuff, and also it's interesting to see the life of a comedian in many ways also, and the stuff they have to do. Yeah.
And I mean, if you see how the comedy has evolved over the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, and the way people start consuming comedy is like, increased tremendously. I think the kind of videos that we have on digital, or people doing stand-up comedies, there's a huge audience in Bangalore. People doing, the shows.
A lot of sketch comedy is happening. A lot of theatre is happening. I mean, it's variety is very large. They also chose people from different walks of comedy, and not only one variant. And why not? I mean, we have enough problems on a day-to-day basis, so it might as well have a small fun laugh, and just have fun.
And that's why we have the channel called as Happy Place.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Can
it.
come from any place. You might be stressed from work, or you might have had a bad day. Just come
and I had a lot of friends who saw it, a lot of people who called me, and because we aired it on Republic Day, and it was exactly what we thought it should be, which is that on a weekend, 8:30, just before you probably may be going out, it's half an hour of just a relaxed viewing, and something which is fun to watch, without demanding too much attention from you, without driving you completely crazy. I feel nowadays even TV shows are like a relationship, you know what I mean? Either you're binge watching them, or you're missing them, or they grab you in a way where you can't do anything else. This one's good.
So what's the basic target audience for this show?
I have no idea. I'm thinking, I have absolutely no idea who the target audience is. I guess the target audience is exactly the people who are watching it. So that could age. We never really had a sort of market that we wanted to please while making the show, and I think it's just so open-ended. My friend Deep, who's also on the show, his grandparents watched it. They had a really nice time watching it. It also has people from all walks of life on the show, and that sort of opens it up to any target audience. It's not really focused towards children or adults only or stuff like that. It's one of those rare occasions where it's neutral watching. It's anyone and everyone. I mean, my sister lived here for about 6-7 years, and so for me it was always a place to come home, and it's a very different vibe to a city like Mumbai, which is full on and hectic, and also because my sister lived here, it was always a holiday space for me. My niece was also here, and I used to come here, eat a lot of yummy food, and then just sleep and relax. It's a quieter space. She was in Tiruvanmiyur, and so that was a nice place. The beach is pretty close by. Getting a pretty empty beach in the evenings is a rarity in Mumbai. So yeah, I have a very different memory from a lot of other people. I'm sure a lot of other people like to roam around or party or this and that. For me, it was purely eat and sleep and relax.
So basically about English comedy.
Yeah.
It's going.
Because that we are fed a fairly large amount of English content. Most of that content does come from abroad, and primarily American pop culture. And yet there is a very large population of people who, along with Hindi, also enjoy English content. And it would be nice to also see some of it come out of our country, because the thing is that there's an Indianness which is only sort of captured if shot here and understood here, and I don't know why it doesn't happen. It was happening a lot in the early 2000s and in the 90s, and in the middle there was a bit of a gap where I've rarely seen sort of a lot of English content coming out of our country, and we need that. And it's good, they've come up with The Stage, which was a good show on that. I haven't seen a show about English music in a long time, which was on Infinity, Colors Infinity. They've got this one coming out. Hopefully that also opens up a market for viewers, but also for participants from the English-speaking market, which is such a huge population also of people who want to enjoy content coming out of their country, because there's stuff in India that you just can't get anywhere else. We sent them, there was this really funny part, which is, we had this one day called Dentist's Apprentice, where our comedians would go in just before the dentist was coming in for an operation, and they say the dentist is a little delayed, so let me like clean you up and stuff like that. And we got them to do really stupid stuff. Like there was one old lady, she was in her 50s, and she's sitting there, and this guy's staring into her teeth, and while staring at her teeth, he starts crying because he said that I'm also a dentist, but your teeth remind me of my ex-lover. You have exactly the same denture, the molars and all, and I can't operate on you because I'll start howling. And she's like, really? And he's like, yeah. I mean, can you believe this conversation? And he said that he sent his wife, and all this crap I'm telling him, he sent his wife to get her teeth cleaned before their wedding, and she fell in love with the guy who was cleaning her teeth and left him. And he started howling. Now, instead of getting irritated, because you've come here for a root canal, okay? You don't want to discuss someone's love problems. This lady's like, oh God, beta, life has been very hard to you. And he's, yes, ma'am, it has. And she's like, don't worry, take this medicine, eat khichdi. I'm like, what's going on? And then he said, ma'am, can I do your root canal? She's like, yeah, no problem. And that was just bizarre. She had no adverse reaction to a guy howling and screaming and telling her teeth look like his ex-lovers. While on the other hand, we also had like, we sent this guy Utsav out into a mall where you know how we have these artists who paint people, and so it was a free painting, and he painted a husband-wife as 2 carrots with like hair coming out, and the wife is like, yeah, it's really nice, but can you make my ears? That's her reaction. There was not like, hey man, you've drawn me like a carrot. It was just amazing how people react, and I feel you never get that from another show because it's not out of our country, you know. Hopefully there should be a lot more coming out of it. So yeah, it's been fun.